Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coon Rapids Ice Center for CTN's live coverage of girls high school hockey. Tonight, the Fighting Bluebirds from Champlin Park, Coon Rapids, host the Cougars from Centennial, Spring Lake Park. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro up above the action. And Howie, we saw the earlier meeting between these two teams a couple of weeks ago. Centennial, Spring Lake Park ranked number 4 in the state. They were outplayed for much of that game by the Fighting Bluebirds, able to tie it up late and then win in overtime.
They have a good club. Obviously, you look at their record, they have not lost a game. One tie, 7-0-1. And so this Cougar team comes in on a roll, and I think that they're going to look at the Bluebirds a little differently than they did in the first matchup. I think maybe, I was talking to Coach Gutterman, maybe did they look past them a little bit in that first matchup? I think what the Bluebirds need to do is come out strong, see if they have a good first period.
Well, what we saw the first time around was Centennial really setting the tempo with their speed, but then at Champlin Park, Coon Rapids able to kind of control the game by being gritty and possessing the puck and keeping Centennial from getting that speed going. A big factor for the Cougars is Lauren O'Hara, their starting center. She's got 21 points through 8 games.
Yeah, she leads that first line, and she's very active, and you have to be able to know where she is on the ice at all time. You have to put a body on her if possible. So this is something that the Bluebirds are going to have to look at and say, you know, not only her, but Kudrow as well has 19 points on the season. So there's a couple of players that the Bluebirds have to be very careful of.
Yeah, in Champlin Park, Coon Rapids, they're not getting a ton of offense. They're getting enough to get it done, though. Just right at the 500 mark right now, but getting into that conversation for state's top 20, and they're doing it mostly with defense and getting just enough offensive production, and it's a balanced attack. They got a lot of different girls that are putting the puck away, but 22, Brooklyn Johnson, their leading scorer to this point in the season. 5
goals and 1 assist. And, you know, Coach Gutterman talked to me earlier yesterday and said what we need to do is put more pucks in the net. They're averaging less than 2 goals a game, and that's something that they really need to do here tonight, is that they're going to have to put a number of goals in if they want to beat this squad.
Well, another thing that Coach Gutterman has talked about all season long is getting in front of the net, getting traffic, taking the goalie's eyes away. Both goals against Centennial Spring Lake Park last contest were scored by Emma Strauss, and both were scored that way, by her getting in, getting those gritty, dirty goals. They're going to need to try and do some more of that here tonight, see if they can hand Centennial Spring Lake Park its first loss of the season. The Cougars and the Bluebirds drop the puck next on CTN. Back at the Crick, just about ready to get this game underway. And I'm excited. It was a good back and forth contest last time, hoping that we see something similar, tight to the very end.
Yeah, and I think, and we talked about it, I think that the Bluebirds' key to success, one of them is to come out strong here tonight in the first period and put pressure on the Cougars and make them react rather than the other way around. As you see head coach Sean Moline, talked to him earlier today, and you know, he says we have to capitalize on opportunities. When we get those opportunities, we need to do that. We need to do a better job of playing in their own zone. Felt that that's one of the areas that they could work on to get better. And then of course Coach Gutterman said we have to hold their wings down. I mean, we have to limit what they do here tonight against us. And I think that's going to be really important for them. And really, you know, they had a lot of mistakes, a lot of foolish mistakes against Rogers. in that loss, and I think that's something that they want to work on tonight here, Joe, in just in terms of limiting those mental errors.
Yeah, the Bluebirds coming off a 6-0 loss at the hands of Rogers, and hoping they can get their fortunes turned around here against a very, very good Cougars squad. But they know that the benefit is they know coming in that they can play with the Cougars. They did it last time, and now they have the home ice advantage and opportunity to give them a not so welcome environment.
Well, they didn't play against their number one goalie last time, but they will this evening.
Bluebirds win the draw, and Scott able to play it in deep. Terabeza fighting for it. Johnson got it back to her, now played back in deep by Milton. And again, this is key, just keeping them deep and trying to prevent that speed. O'Hara trying to go wide on Scott, spins away towards the boards, plays it back. Dancing through was Gaudreau, but then her shot was blocked, and this one just flipped the length of the ice by Terabeza. It's going to run out of steam, so no icing as Johnson pressures Vlashin behind the net. Vlashin looking up ice, plays it ahead, tipped along by Callie Cody into the zone for Chatlin. She tried to play it out front. That was intercepted and played away by Briley Del Castillo. Kennedy Bolander stops up. Her shot deflected, ends up behind the net. Emma Strauss recovers in the near corner and plays it back down behind where it's picked up by Lily McKenzie. Centering attempt is stopped and blocked up. Kept in at the line. Bolander can't get a stick on it. Torma able to get it to the line but not out. Bolander will play it in and stick to the corner by Caitlin Gross. McKenzie in a battle with a couple of Cougars. Centennial able to come away with it. Noelle Hemmer trying to go wide around Del Castillo. Plays it through the blue paint. Kept in at the far side by Ball. Tied up along the boards. Ball able to get it back and play it to O'Hearn. O'Hearn has her shot deflected up into the rafters, and that'll get a whistle and a face-off in the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. And good pace early on.
Yeah, and I think zone presence could be so important for both teams here this evening, and I think even maybe more so for the Bluebirds because they're the ones that want to try and get pressure. A last opportunity for CPCR going wide of the net.
O'Hearn bumped off of it by Scott. Recovered by Del Castillo behind the net. Pass just to evade Scott. Jammed up on the board. Scott able to recover. Knocked off her stick. Recovered by Emily Nicholas. Nicholas waits in the corner. Trying to get it up the boards and does. Kyla Ketting able to get it out to center. Taken away by Torma. Ketting continues to pressure. Comes away with it momentarily. Good stick lift to get it back. Plays it into the slot. Now played away. Larson evades a stick check from Nicholas and able to skate out to center. Knocked off her stick and now kicked ahead by Kylie Scott, who takes it behind her own net. Scott stops up. Cross ice pass out of the reach of Brianna Qualley all the way down. That'll be icing and a face-off back in the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end.
Yeah, they're going to try and free somebody and see if they can get them into the zone, but again, just that pass a little bit too much on it as they will bring the face-off back to the Bluebird end.
Well, and I think you'll see Centennial Spring Lake Park paying a little more attention to number 8 and not allowing her to get speed and try and rush from the defensive end. She did that several times against them in the first meeting. And, you know, that's always the interesting part in the second meeting between conference opponents. You kind of have a better idea of what they have and who to watch out for. New Power ahead. The pass a little bit behind Gaudreau. O'Hara recovers just into her own end. Tried to clear, but Terabeza steps up. That pass deflected. Turnaround shot by Ness, and it's stopped up point blank by Gross. Terabeza able to win it and play it back behind the net. Ness ties up. Tried to get it back to Terabeza. Got away from her, and back the other way come the Cougars. New Power into the zone. Leaves it off for Gaudreau. Walking in, a shot glove save by Madeline Wastrel.
Yeah, and again, you have to be so conservative to the Bluebirds. They've got a number of young ladies that can put the puck in the back of the net. That time, a rush up ice, and a good save there.
Face-off win by the Cougars in the offensive end. Vlashin plays it down and around behind. Bolander on the midboards, bounces it out of the zone. Sent right back in by Hannah Thompson. Kylie Scott pressured behind her own net by Noelle Hemmer. And again, Coon Rapids gets it out of the zone, turned right back in. Kuhlenkamp's pass turned away by Emma Strauss. Sent right back in the zone by Thompson, right back out. And here's Strauss behind the defense. Strauss walks in, his shot, and a shoulder save by Caitlin Gross.
A good opportunity for Emma Strauss there, and Gross coming up with the save.
Hammer pressuring. Emily Nicholas able to turn away from it. Her pass to Strauss, then knocked off her stick by Vlashin, who's stepping in. Bolander fires it around behind. Scott overskates the puck as it took a weird bounce off the Zamboni door. Nicholas cutting in front of her own net. Dangerous play, lost the handle, played back to the blue line. A shot, a save, a rebound chance, and Wastrel comes up with another big stop. And a face-off upcoming in the CPCRN.
Maddie Wastrel had a really nice game against Centennial in that first matchup, and you know, they're looking to go back to her. She had a rough outing against Rogers, but Coach Gutterman giving her the start.
Gross just getting enough with the left shoulder to deny Emma Strauss. Ball walking out, looking back door, and not quite ready for the pass was Alexis Larson. Ball trying to play it back to the point. Larson able to keep it in. Long pass ahead by Julian was stopped up in the neutral zone. Booth tied up in the corner by Qualley. There to help out is Del Castillo. Brooke Del Castillo able to win the puck, play it back in deep. Recovered there by Katie. Ball behind her own net, turns away from Ketting and plays it back to the far side. Long pass ahead out of the reach of O'Hearn, and that will be icing. And that is the dangerous play we saw a lot of first meeting, is that offside wing. They like to float them out, try and get that stretch pass, and then use their speed to get in on breakaways, and O'Hearn nearly had one there.
Didn't miss her stick by much. I mean, that's what Coach Gutterman was talking about. They have to keep those wings in check on that exact sort of play.
Yeah, so Newpower's pass just out of her reach. Off the face-off, Champlin Park Coon Rapids trying to keep them bottled up, but here comes Gaudreau back the other way, and that's offside as she made one extra move. Callie Cody in a step early.
Yeah, that's all it takes, that one little extra move, and you're all of a sudden you're offside. You got to bring the face-off outside the blue line.
Riley Del Castillo celebrating her 16th birthday.
Woo, happy birthday.
On the ice.
I'd sing to you, but the ratings would go down.
Number 5 of 6 in the Del Castillo line. O'Hara able to play it into the Coon Rapids Champlin Park end. Kylie Scott able to skate it right back out. Abby Ness knocked to the ice as she enters the zone. Scott able to win the puck in behind the defense and pass through the slot. Nobody able to get to it. Del Castillo's shot deflected off a defenseman is still loose as Gross was scrambling in her crease. Champlin Park Coon Rapids wins the puck behind the net. Tara Beza trying to center off the side of the cage. Ness's pass out to the point. Del Castillo fires wide. Recovered off the end board by Katie Booth. She's tied up by Ness. Tara Beza there to support. She comes away with the puck. Tara Beza gets away from a little stick check. Skates it out to the top of the circles. Leaves it for Briley Del Castillo. Trying to play it across. Gaudreau able to tip it away. And that ends up back in the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Kylie Scott lost an edge, but did not lose the puck as she sweeps it out to center ice. Torma will regroup back into her own end. That pass hit traffic. Chatleen able to get it into the zone. Chatleen, had the 7th grader, had the overtime winner for the Cougars in the first meeting. Torma holding it in at the line there. Emma Strauss able to come away with it. Her pass just too far for Bolander, and that will turn into an icing And another face-off back into Champlin Park Coon Rapids End with 9:48 to go.
Yeah, we saw
in this first period.
Sorry, Joe. We saw some nice pressure here. We're going to see some nice pressure by the Bluebirds as they're getting some shots on goal 5 so far here in this first period. But again, just action around the front of that net. But unfortunately, they could not poke the puck home.
Yeah, and this one that went off of the defenseman's stick, and then look at that.
Yeah.
Gross. Didn't even know she was stopping that with the butt end of her stick.
She'll
as
take
she
it.
Flopped over. It went off a defenseman's skate, and she got just a piece of it. Then it was poked underneath her, and as she kind of rolled over, she got it with the top of her stick. This one gets away from Bolander, recovered by McKenzie walking in. She's tied up, still battles for it, gets some help from Bolander, who comes away with the puck. Played across to the far side. Kuhlenkamp's pass back to the near side for Hemmer. Hemmer walking in. She'll take the shot. That deflects off the shin pad of Julian into the far corner. Ball can't scoop it off the boards. That shot didn't make it through Julian, but then she fanned on it, and a left pad save by Wastrel keeps us scoreless. This one cleared back out to center. Regrouping at the red line is Alexis Larson. Near side for Vlashin, who gets it into the zone. Julian pressured deep into the corner, plays it around. O'Hearn there to intercept for Centennial. O'Hearn spins away from the pressure by Nicholas. Has some room, plays it down low for Ball. Ball is tripped up, but no call coming. Julian hooked and high sticked, but no call there either. As that stick lift was all the way up into her armpit, but now the numbers for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, Nicholas tripped up, or did she just lose an edge? Either way, she got it out of the zone, but right back in comes Larson. Stick save over to the far side. Bouncing puck, Qualley has to settle it, gets it ahead for Brooke Del Castillo. She's bumped off it by O'Hara. Here comes Kylie Scott stepping up, knocked off her stick. Vlashin recovers at the blue line. O'Hara turns away from the pressure by Scott. Vlashin turns around, gets run into, but gives the puck right back. Kylie Scott had her shot deflected into the corner by Newpower. Newpower stops up behind her own net, trying to stay away from Scott. Gives it over to Terabeza and a goal!
Oh, just a great job by Molly Terabeza to be in the right place at the right time after the turnover. Molly with a nice move and gets the goal, and all of a sudden, CPCR on top 1-0 with 7:39 and remaining in this first period. It's a pretty goal.
Well, she was coming in, filling that lane, and the clearing attempt hit her right in the hands. She knocked it down to her stick, and she's in all alone, goes to her backhand, and puts Champlin Park Coon Rapids up by 1.
A nice way for the Bluebirds to start here and get that first goal of the contest.
Unassisted, and we talk about it a lot. You got to be careful with the puck in your own end. And here's another steal by Terabeza. Terabeza racing down the right wing, tried to toe drag, but knocked off her stick by Katie Booth, who gets it back out to center. Here comes Cody down the left wing for Centennial. Chopped off her stick by Briley Del Castillo and cleared back out to center by CPCR. Pressure from Johnson. Torma able to turn away from it. Chatlian able to get it out to center. Torma trying to get it back to Chatlian. She plays it in on goal. Turned to the corner by Wastrel. Briley Del Castillo looking cross ice. Bolander had her pocket picked, and here comes a breakaway the other end and a goal! Tegan Kuhlenkamp with a steal just inside the blue line. And a little tick for tat from Centennial has us tied at a goal apiece.
Yeah, again, you turn the puck over in your zone and things like that happen, as you saw what the Bluebirds are able to do. Now the Cougars are able to come back and tie this thing up. Going to come in and go get Wastrel to move to her right, and there's plenty of open net for her to put it in.
Centennial wins the draw, gets it right back into the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end, and another great chance, another goal! Wow. And it's J.C. Chatlian, who had not scored since the overtime winner between these two teams about 3 weeks ago. back on the board, scoring her 6th of the season.
Yeah, always nice to get scoring from some of those younger players. And again, she just capitalized there, right in front of the Bluebirds net.
Just 10 seconds apart. Hammer creates the pressure, and a great pass from Coon.
Nice feed.
And a good finish from the youngster has Centennial Spring Lake Park up 2-1. Kuhlenkamp able to get it in deep. Kuhlenkamp, just a freshman. She's got a goal and an assist. And again, just 10 seconds apart. Long pass out of the zone, but taken away by Vlachin. Thompson trying to stay out of the reach of Emma Strauss. Gets it into the zone. Ball there to support and push it in deep. Wastrel will stop it up. Kylie Scott plays it around. Bolander can't control. Played right back in deep by Hannah Thompson. And we're going to see our first penalty. Kylie Scott going to go for the cross check. And with a 2-1 lead, Centennial is going to go on the power play.
Yeah, again, the coaching staff has to be a little bit concerned in this situation. You're giving a good team like Centennial an opportunity with an extra skater here for a couple of minutes. Already up 2-1. They're looking to see what their Bluebirds penalty kill unit can do here against the Cougars power play.
O'Hara against Johnson on the dot. Johnson able to win the draw. A good tie-up by Cody. Shot stopped up close, and O'Hara gets it right back. Sets up near the hash marks, out to the point for Vlachin. Gets it right back, top of the left circle. Lost it, and a turning shot by Gaudreau for a goal. And just like that, 3 quick ones from Centennial Spring Lake Park. That is how you answer.
And the Bluebirds again, early in this first period, playing well, getting that first goal, controlling a little bit. But Centennial Spring Lake Park, they're not ranked 4th in the state for nothing, as they get 3 quick goals to go up 3-1 with 5:21 remaining in the opening period.
There you saw it, the pass from O'Hara. Gaudreau comes out to it, and a quick one-timer gets past Wastrel. 3 goals in just a minute and 15 seconds. Last one on the power play, and the power play only took 18 seconds to pay off for Centennial Spring Lake Park. Thompson chased behind her own net, gets to Vlachin in the near corner, plays it up the boards. Holding in deep was Milton. And now Johnson will play it back to Milton at the point. Her shot deflected out front. A rebound chance for Ness. And Gaudreau able to take it away for Centennial. Ness wins it right back. Tried to center. Johnson now gets it out a little behind Terabeza. Chopped up the boards. Milton pinching again. O'Hara comes away with it for Centennial. Passes ahead. Broken up by Kylie Scott. Ness got to the red line but couldn't get it deep. Vlachin will send it into the CPCR end. Wastrel will play it behind the net. Milton will reverse for Kylie Scott. Scott off the boards ahead. And Ness was upended at the red line by Torma, who sends it back in deep. Scott held to the boards by Hammer. Kicking it along. Brooke Del Castillo sends it up, but kept in at the line. Champlin couldn't get anything on it. Flipped out of the zone by Brooke Del Castillo. Torma will send it back in for Centennial. 4 minutes left in this opening period. And that's just a long clear for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. And why that wasn't icing, I have no idea.
I don't think anybody touched it, so I'm not sure either.
Clearly the penalty ended when they scored on the power play, but Kyla Ketting played off the puck by Ball. They both go down in a heap in the zone. Played back in by Briley Del Castillo. Torma recovers off the end board. Ahead for Hammer, who deflects it all the way down, and that one will be icing. And a face-off in the Centennial end. Just under 3.5 to go in the opening period.
And there's a good opportunity there for the Bluebirds against the pressure in front of the net. Joe, I'll tell you, it would be huge if CPCR can get a goal here before the end of this first period. Take a little bit of a momentum away from the Cougars.
Del Castillo trying to dump it deep. Ball lost the handle. Will now play it up the boards. Larson Gets it back to Newpower. Newpower into the corner and recovers it herself. She'll turn in, head up ice. Newpower through center, evades the poke check from Del Castillo into the zone down the left wing, bounces it behind the net, recovers it again herself. Ball there to support, comes away with it, plays it back to the point for Booth. Booth will send it back in deep as she was being pressured by Bolander. Behind the net is Larson, and this puck dangerously on the side of the Coon Rapids Champlin Park cage. Coming away with it is Larson. Larson skates to the top of the circles into the slot. A shot that misses high and wide. O'Hearn recovers for Centennial. Taken away by Briley Del Castillo again. Del Castillo just trying to get it out. Cannot. Lily McKenzie able to play it out to center. Quickly turned around. Larson attacking down the right wing. Briley Del Castillo able to stick check it away. And then get it ahead for Emma Strauss. Emma Strauss to center ice, bounces it off the boards to herself, but Booth there to take it away and get it behind the net. That pass is behind the target. Icing waved off as it was touched apparently by Brooklyn Johnson. Kylie Scott recovers in her own end, plays it off the boards out to center, all the way down, but again, apparently touched by Centennial, so icing waved off as Thompson will send it back around behind for Voloshin. Voloshin out to center. Brooklyn Johnson takes it away for CPCR. She's played off it as she enters the zone. Voloshin will send it back behind again. Megan Gaudreau will recover near the hash marks on the far side. Her pass deflected out of the reach of Voloshin, but Callie Cody able to get it into the zone as she and Kylie Scott collide. Both lose their skates and both lose their sticks. It's recovered by Abby Ness, who turns back up ice. Abby Ness to the blue line, dumps it in deep as her line mate's getting it changed. Thompson recovers, cross ice pass, broken up by Milton just inside the blue line. She sends it in deep. Washington is there. She gets it up the boards for Callie Cody. Cody to Megan Gaudreau at center, under a minute to go in the opening period.
And the Cougars getting a change.
Julian's long pass out of the reach of Ketting. Turned around by Centennial. Milton couldn't clear, but Ketting can. Sikora keeps it out of the Centennial end, bouncing around. Chatlian able to settle it. Then her pass just out of the reach of Hemmer. That'll be an icing call. 34 to go. And a face-off back in the Cougars' end.
We'll see if the Bluebirds can apply a little pressure with the face-off coming down in the Cougar end. Just 34 seconds remaining in the opening period. There you see the score: Centennial Spring Lake Park 3, CPCR 1.
Bluebirds able to win the draw. Briley Del Castillo got it to Scott. Del Castillo able to hold the line, but it hit the linesman on the mid-boards, played back to the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Kylie Scott, first one there. Turns away from the pressure from Hemmer. Gets it up the boards, but not out. Tied up. Down to the final 6 seconds. Bolander able to push it out to neutral ice as the buzzer sounds, and that is how the first period will end. Champlin Park, Coon Rapids gets a turnover and a lead, but just moments later, a 3-goal spurt for Centennial. Spring Lake Park has them in the driver's seat. We'll take a break, be back with much more from the Crick. You're watching CTN's live coverage of girls high school hockey. Nice hands, drives and scores. Back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, a 3-1 lead for Centennial Spring Lake Park after the first period, and really a period that had good back-to-back action, a great pace, but the story of the first period is how quickly things can change.
Yeah, obviously the Bluebirds jumped out to that 1-0 lead, got a little early momentum, but it didn't stop the Cougars because they came back with 3 straight goals.
Yeah, Centennial, Champlin Park Coon Rapids gets a turnover, gets ahead, but just over a minute later, Centennial gets it back on a turnover just inside the blue line and scores 3 goals in a minute 15. We have head coach Todd Gutterman with us, and coach, what do you do to try and get that momentum turned back in your favor?
I'll be honest, I don't even think it's the momentum's in their favor. I think we made some really bad defensive plays in our D zone, and they made us pay. I think that period was two good hockey teams, and that's a team that can score in bunches, and they did. They bury their chances. We got to do a better job of burying our chances, and we can't make bad plays in our zone.
Yeah, now you talked about that game against Rogers where you made some mistakes that you shouldn't have, and I know some of those things that are coming to fruition happened in that first period against the Cougars. But I did like the energy from your squad, especially early on. You get the 1-0 lead, and I like the fact that you're able to take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and like I said, it's a team that our constant message is we tend to panic a little bit. And good teams make us pay for that, so we got to learn how to be a little more patient with the puck, protect the puck, protect our zone, and then bury pucks when we get down in theirs.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first period, and we talked about it. Champlin Park Coon Rapids creating some pressure early and then forcing the turnover. Molly Terabeza making them pay for a mistake deep in their own end, and then just a minute and 3 seconds later, Bluebirds with a turnover high in their end, and walking in and scoring was Tegan Kuhlenkamp. And then right off the draw, they get it back in deep. Hemmer drops it for Kuhlenkamp. Kuhlenkamp, a nice feed out front, and Champlin hammers it home. Just 10 seconds between those 2 goals, and then just a minute later, Champlin Park Coon Rapids takes a penalty, and Megan Gaudreau with a one-timer that she fires past Wastrel to put them up 3-1. But, outside of that minute and 15 seconds when they scored all 3 of their goals, I think what Coach Gutterman said is exactly right. They really didn't have a lot of momentum, and really it was a lot of back and forth. And again, much like that first game, I think Champlin Park Coon Rapids probably holding a slim edge in zone possession.
Right.
Although, give Centennial a lot of credit. They force turnovers in the neutral zone, and then they put it right back in the zone. They want to play on their offensive half of the ice.
Yeah, this is going to test the offense of the Bluebirds, obviously averaging just a little less than 2 goals a game. Got 1 here, but now trail by 2. So they're going to have to come out in the second period and play with the kind of intensity that they played with in that first period. And I think they have to bury one early if they want to get a little momentum back.
Well, we will drop the puck on that second period right after this. You're watching CTN's live coverage of girls high school hockey.
Get all your Cardinal sports action with Joe and I live every Monday at 7:30. If Coon Rapids plays it, Sports Night covers it. Sports Night on local cable CTN.
Back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, just about ready to get the second period underway. Centennial Spring Lake Park a 3-1 lead over Champlin Park Coon Rapids. We've got a couple other Coon Rapids scores to report.
We do.
Boys basketball team trailing the number 1 ranked Park Center Pirates 43-19 at the half.
Yeah, and the last word I got from Jeremy Smythe, who's covering the girls game, 21-18 Cards at the half.
In the girls' game. Yeah. Bluebirds able to get the puck in on Gross right away off the opening draw, and she's forced to cover up as Tara Beza was crashing in on the net. Face off one to the corner. Voloshin able to play it around. Milton holds at the blue line. Will send it back in deep. Tara Beza can't handle it. Out of the reach of Ness behind the net. Voloshin trying to get it up the board. Stopped up by Brooklyn Johnson. O'Hara back to help out, able to get past, but Abby Ness brings it back out front, try to jam, puck still free, played out to the point. Milton will take a shot, doesn't make it through traffic. O'Hara hands off to Gaudreau. Gaudreau skates through center, a 3-on-2 for the Cougars. Played to O'Hara in the slot, save, rebound, and a goal for Callie Cody.
Oh, just, again, a nice feed to O'Hara. O'Hara puts it on net. Austral can't control the rebound, and it goes right back. And all of a sudden, it's 4-1 Centennial to start this second period. You can see
and again, it's that top line. It starts with Gaudreau out to O'Hara, the shot, and then Callie Cody able to bury the rebound. And just 40 seconds into the second period, Centennial has a 4-1 lead. Pass bounces away from Bolander, turned around by Centennial. Champlin centering out front, a point-blank save by Wastrel, and she's able to cover up the rebound chance.
Oh, another really good chance for the Cougars there. And as you mentioned, Wastrel able to make sure she brought it in and didn't allow another opportunity for the Cougars, but they've coming out here flying here in period number 2.
Torma's shot well wide into the corner. Skating to center with it is Bolander, pressured by Champlin, able to get it into the zone. Into the far corner, stopped up, pressured, plays it back to Briley Del Castillo. Her shot is blocked. Champlin able to play it back out to center. Race for it back into the Bluebirds' end, won by Shelby Julian. She'll play it off the near boards for Bolander, bounces it off and in deep as the Bluebirds get a line change. Torma circles out of the corner. Off the boards ahead for Cooling Camp. Gets it in deep, deflected by Hemmer. Nicholas behind the net for Kylie Scott. Scott will skate to center, into the zone. In deep, goes across, and Gross able to cover it up.
Well, I don't know how she did that.
Well, I'm not sure she even knew exactly where the puck was, but it ends up underneath her.
Well, and then Kylie Scott on that far side, I thought she was looking for a rebound there, but
tried to slide it through 5-hole. And there you see it just sitting there, and jamming for it is Brooke Del Castillo. And
yeah, the Bluebirds need a goal here if they can get one.
Played to the point. Scott gives it back to Qualley. Her pass out for Nicholas. She sends it into the far corner. Brooke Del Castillo ties up there with Ella O'Hearn. Puck comes free for Alexis Larson. And now out to center by Katie Ball. Scott in her own zone, circles, looking for room in the middle of the ice. She's tripped up as she tried to split a couple of defenders, no call. And the puck back into the Bluebirds' end. O'Hearn is going to get the first penalty against Centennial as she takes Emily Nicholas down in the corner. Called for the cross check, and the Bluebirds their first chance on the power play.
Again, right in front of our official. You're going to see it here. She's pushed into the boards. And now an opportunity for CPCR with that extra skater.
It's going to be O'Hara against Johnson in the faceoff dot to the left of Gross, waiting for them to get the penalty on the board. And there it goes. Face-off played to the boards and cleared all the way down. And Gaudreau is going to win the race to it in the far corner. Gaudreau leaving it for O'Hara. O'Hara out to the slot, a shot and a glove save for Wastrel.
Yeah, she fed Gaudreau right out in front of the net. Not a lot on that shot. But again, just no defense there to trouble her. And that's right into the glove.
Off the face-off, Scott behind her own net, pressured by O'Hara. Gets it out to center ice and then lost the handle. O'Hara will flip it back to the other end. Abby Ness will get there in front of Gaudreau. Gaudreau continues to pressure behind the net. Ahead for Tara Beza. Tara Beza Trying to get it to Bolander. Vlasian fell down. Bolander around. Rebound kicked straight out into the slot, and O'Hara going back the other way. O'Hara in close, and she scores, shorthanded.
What a nice move to get around the defense, though, and then she gets in front of the net and creates an opportunity for herself. That's her 11th goal of the season. But again, she just works herself around the defense, controls the puck with her stick. So you're going to see just a nice move there.
Just using speed.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they give the assist to Caitlin Gross, because it was off a Champlin Park Coon Rapids shot. Gross kicked the rebound out. Here's a chance for Brooke Del Castillo. A goal! And a very quick answer on the power play.
But yeah, they needed that. Otherwise, this game starts slipping away.
Just 6 seconds between those two goals.
Again, another turnover, and just does a nice job of just getting to the other end and making sure she puts the puck in the back of the net.
But a big hole with Centennial getting two very early in this second period and had the 5-1 lead, although it very briefly. Unassisted power play goal for Brooke Del Castillo.
You know, and the Bluebirds out shooting the Cougars 13-12, yet trail 5-2.
That sounds like they gave O'Hara, made that one unassisted, but you know, being a little biased towards goaltenders, I would give Gross the assist after kicking it straight out into the slot.
Take a look again, just a nice job by Steele to control that.
And they give McKenzie and Strauss assists on the goal by Brooke Del Castillo. Terabeza racing down the right wing, gets the red line, dumps it in, gives chase, gets there first, then lost the handle behind the net, comes loose to Larson. Her pass ahead for Katie Ball. Ball to center, has a 2-on-1. The pass out of the reach of O'Hearn, and icing waved off as it's turned around by Scott. McKenzie to center, bounces it around. Sikora recovers it, trying to cut back out front, was slowed by Torma and coughed it up. O'Hearn back at center, runs into Strauss and gives the puck right back to the Bluebirds. Bolander down the left wing, takes it in deep, chopped out front, and McKenzie hacking away at it. Strauss was there as well, but the loose puck comes to Gaudreau as she races down the left wing, trailed by Kylie Scott. Forces the turnover, but can't clear the zone. O'Hara settles a bouncing puck. Stays away from Strauss, plays it in deep. Scott wings it around, but waiting there for it is Gaudreau. She turns it right back over, but O'Hara there to help turn it right back in favor of Centennial. Tied up along the end boards. O'Hara digs it free. Out to the point. Thompson had trouble with it. Got it back to O'Hara, though. She's knocked off it. Strauss, long pass, intercepted by Vlasian just outside the Centennial zone. She'll skate it back into the CPCR end. She's pressured there and has it taken away by Lily McKenzie. Played around for Briley Del Castillo. Can't get it past O'Hara. O'Hara turns it to Thompson. Thompson lost the handle into the corner. Kylie Scott bangs it off the board. Gaudreau keeps it in at the blue line. Thompson to O'Hara. O'Hara staying away from the stick check by Strauss. Across to Vlasian, back to Thompson. Strauss able to disrupt her shot, and it ends up in the far corner. O'Hara recovers, chips it down low to Gaudreau. Scott plays it out to the line. Vlasian keeps it in there, sends it around deep. Callie Cody can't get there. Emma Strauss able to get to the line and send it in, and CPCR will get a line change as Vlasian recovers behind her own net. She'll swing it around. Kuhlenkamp just inside the blue line, pressured there by Julian, and it's played in deep by Qualley. Ketting tied up by Voloshin and had her pocket pick behind. Brooke Del Castillo able to get it back to Ketting. Ketting had her stick taken away from her. Nicholas's shot is blocked and comes back out to center. Shelby Julian circling and sends it right back in deep. Thompson will get there. She's pressured along the end boards by Brooke Del Castillo. Comes away with the puck. Qualley there to break it free. Centers. Ketting disrupted by Hemmer. And Champlin able to come away with it for Centennial. She gets to the blue line with a 2-on-1. Out front looking for Kuhlenkamp. Broken up by Julian.
A nice defensive play by Julian.
Hemmer gets to it for Centennial. Centers through the slot out to the point. Kept in by New Power, and Wastro will just cover it up to slow things down and get a face-off with 9:25 to go here in the second period.
Yeah, Rostrel needed to cover that one up because the Cougars are pressuring again, spending a lot of time down in the Bluebird end.
Just an update, the Coon Rapids boys basketball team has cut the lead, now trailing 49-34 with about 13 and a half minutes to go in the second half against that very highly ranked Park Center squad. Scott lost the handle and went right through her own crease, but fortunately Champlin Park Coon Rapids able to recover. Tara Beza can't tip it past Booth, who forces it back in deep. CPCR nearly turns it over right in the slot again. Larson with it in the corner. She's tied up there by Milton. There to help out is Johnson, forced to the corner by Ness. Held in there by New Power. Scott able to force it out to center. Tara Beza trying to get around the corner. She's ridden off of it by Booth, but then recovers it in the corner. Chopping it off her stick is Ball, played out to center. Bouncing puck, poked away by Gross. And played out to center, and now we have whistle behind the play. Too many players on the ice for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, and that is a tough penalty to take.
That is a tough penalty to take.
Nola Milton will serve. Both teams 1 for 1 on the power play. Centennial's power play in the first period lasted just 18 seconds. O'Hara will face off against Bolander to the right of Wastrel, tied up. Coming away with it, Kylie Scott plays it high off the glass. Washington able to keep it in at the blue line. O'Hara coming off the midboard, stripped by Scott, and she plays it the distance. Pressure coming from Qualley forces Torma to turn it, or Thompson rather, to turn it back around. Played to the line, kept in there by Scott. She's ridden off of it by Gaudreau, but plays it down toward the net. Gaudreau now with it, starts up the left wing, ahead for Vlashin. Vlashin stays away from a stick check by Bolander. O'Hara will carry into the zone. Down the right wing, she'll play it around behind. And that one just kind of sacrificed. None of the Centennial players went for the puck, and Bolander able to poke it out to center. Thompson back at her own blue line, gets it to Gaudreau. Gaudreau back into the zone, will set up on the midboards, right side. Out to Thompson at the point, in the middle, down low. Handcuffed O'Hara a little bit. She recovers out of the corner, back up top to Vlashin, and now O'Hara at the top of the left circle. Out to the point, Thompson shot, stopped up out front by Julian. Cody recovers in the corner. Gaudreau out to Thompson at the point. Bounces off her stick a bit. She fires, it's redirected, and a goal for O'Hara. She's got 4 points in the contest. Another power play goal for Centennial.
Yeah, and the Cougars did a really nice job of moving the puck around and finding their opportunity. This time you push something to the front of the net, and there's a player out in front, and she puts it home, and all of a sudden it's 6-2 now in favor of Centennial Spring Lake Park. There you see the redirect. Look from up top. Or did it go off? Did it go off?
I don't think so.
Okay.
O'Hara tipped it right between the legs of Kylie Scott and just inside the left post.
she's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, she had 21 points in 8 games coming into tonight. She's got 4 points tonight, and her team has a 4-goal lead with 6.5 minutes, a little more than 6.5 minutes to play in the second period. Abby Ness with it in deep, spins out of the corner, puts it into the blue paint, but a lot of black jerseys coming back to support defensively. Coming away with it is Katie Booth. Booth waits and now skates out to center, chips it ahead into the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Briley Del Castillo pressured by Hemmer. Tries to turn away, pinned to the boards. Chatlian in there as well. Brooklyn Johnson got the puck but lost an edge. Poked out to center by Ness. Booth turns it right back in for Centennial. Chopped right back out. Hemmer will recover and take it back behind her own net. Couple of players collide and go to the ice just in front of the penalty box. Played in deep, and this one now off the boards. And Larson able to deflect it and win the race to the other end. Able to negate the icing and then get to the puck first. Swung around, Sikora pinching down the boards, able to keep it in deep. Recovered there by McKenzie, up the boards for Strauss. A one-touch pass broken up before Bolander could get to it. And we're going to see another penalty against Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Shelby Julian using the stick, getting called for the cross-check. And this dangerous Cougar power play right back on the ice.
Well, yeah, they can, again, ill afford to give up another goal here, already down by 4. And all of a sudden you give a powerful team like Centennial Spring Lake Park another opportunity to go on the power play. And it just tests you at all levels.
Face off to the right of Wastrel, won by Centennial. Washington lost an edge as she tried to move it across to Thompson, so the Cougars will reset at center. Callie Cody had the puck bouncing and got it into the zone. Thompson's pass behind O'Hara, and that allows Scott to send it the distance.
Yeah, the Bluebirds going to do whatever they can to clear that zone, alleviate pressure.
Washington reverses. Thompson long pass to Callie Cody behind the defense, and she couldn't quite reach the pass, so it'll be icing.
And again, I like the thought, and again, just that pass off the boards and just a little bit too much on it, which will bring the face-off back into the Cougar end. The Bluebirds out shooting the Cougars 16-14.
Another win on the draw by Centennial. Washington waiting deep in her own end. Will play a little give and go with Thompson, and now again behind the net. Thompson ahead for O'Hara. Her pass taken away by Abby Ness. Ness lost the handle. Gaudreau will take it away and carry it into the zone. Getting around Milton, walking out front and a goal.
Again, you let her walk right in front of the net, and Gaudreau, who's an excellent hockey player, she takes advantage of it. She gets her second goal of the night. All of a sudden now it's 7-2 with still plenty of time left in the second period, 4:21.
Yeah, 3 for 3, or no, 4 for 4 now. No, 3 for 3 now on the power play. They're pretty good.
They're really good. Yeah, they're a strong club. You can again see why they're number 4 coming into the action tonight. Coach Gutterman's trying to get some sort of explanation on something that he's not happy about.
He's clearly not happy. You just got to try and mind the temper, and clearly he did. And you know, you'd hate to get the unsportsmanlike and put them right back on the power play. Not sure what he saw that he was not happy with, but clearly had some words. A one-timer on the doorstep for Chatlian, turned away by Wastrel. Played back to the point. Sikora keeps it in with a kick. Bolander able to sweep it out of the zone. Strauss trying to get it ahead to McKenzie, but take it away from her. Chatlian turning it around for Centennial. Chatlian, a wrist shot and a glove save for Wastro.
I mean, they're all so good about creating opportunities for themselves. Saw the Chatlian, the youngster, who had a goal earlier tonight. Just again, get an opportunity to put a shot on net.
Booth trying to walk out from behind the net. Stopped up with a good stick from Wastrel. Another face-off win for the Cougars. Booth plays it in deep. Julian behind her own net, tried to reverse. Taken away by Chatlian. She's pinned to the boards by Julian in the corner. Comes free, hammer out to the point. New power will send it back into the corner. Coolingham sends it out front. A chance and a goal for Hemmer.
Again, just pressure in front of the net. All of a sudden now it's 8-2. After the Bluebirds scored that second goal, they tried to give themselves a little bit of life, but the Cougars would not let them rest, not let them have any of that. And then again, just pressure in front of the net. Hemmer puts it in the back.
Jumping on that loose puck, just about 10 feet outside the top of the crease. And the advantage definitely goes to the shooter in that situation. And the Cougars have really opened this one up. A 5-goal second period so far. This one will be icing with 3:03 to go.
Yeah, they've been dominating this one quite obviously, and now with 3 minutes left, up by 6.
Face-off win for CPCR, and then Qualley pushed to the ice, and that one I think you could have called, and that O'Hearn.
She wasn't happy.
Well, O'Hearn got dragged down,
yeah,
but,
she did.
But Qualley let go of her stick to show that O'Hearn had a hold of it, and then O'Hearn threw the stick, which in and of itself can also be called a penalty, but since you've complained to the ref, you're not going to get a lot of those questionable calls. The ones that could be non-calls are typically not going to go your way. And Champlin Park Coon Rapids has to try to temper their frustrations.
Well, yeah, Coach Gutterman talked about his squad getting frustrated. They're just trying to clear some space and get a little pressure out of their end, but. He talked about the fact they get frustrated, and you can see that here tonight.
And sometimes, games don't go your way,
Nope.
but the hard part is, when calls from the officials aren't going your way, your first reaction is, I want to talk to the official about it and ask why. But you almost never win. Very rarely does the official side with you and say, you know what, you're right, and next time I see one that's close, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Typically, they are not going to. You're not going to sway them. And the Cougars getting deeper onto their bench. This is really the first time we've seen them get to that fourth line, but definitely have the opportunity to do that when you're on top by 6. Thompson forcing it in deep, gives chase. She meets Milton there in the corner. They tie up, kicked free. Brooklyn Johnson recovers for CPCR. She will skate it to center. Can't get past Clausen, or Davidson rather, and Davidson is going to get called as she took Johnson down at center ice, and CPCR will get another chance on the power play. 1:09 to go in the second period.
Yeah, they need some positivity here before the end of the second period. They need something to happen for them to give them a little bit of confidence, trailing 8-2 to the number 4 team in the polls.
They did score on their one power play. However, they also gave up a shorthanded goal. Under a minute to go in the second period as Newpower sends it the length of the ice. Wastrel will leave it there for Shelby Julian. Chased behind the net by Gaudreau. Gaudreau able to poke it free. Get it to O'Hara. O'Hara puts it right into the chest of Maddie Wastrel, who was able to come out and challenge the shot, and nearly another shorty for Megan O'Hara.
Quick update from Jeremy Smith. 27-24 Coon Rapids with 11:40.
Lauren O'Hara.
11:45 left in the second half. Jenny Tombway with 16 of the 27 points for Coon Rapids.
The boys' game, the spread has gotten larger. 72-46 Park Center with 6 minutes to go. And again, the Champlin Park boys are ranked first or second in the state, depending on which ranking you look at.
Park Center. You meant Park Center.
Yeah. O'Hara continues to pressure shorthanded as we're down to the final 15 seconds of this second period. She was taken into the boards kind of hard in that corner, and I saw some Centennial fans wondering why there was no call, and it's a legitimate question.
Yep.
Cody plays it right in, and Wastrel makes the save. As the buzzer sounds, we go to the second intermission. It's Centennial 8, Champlin Park Coon Rapids 2. Take a break and be back with more from the Ice Center after this on CTN. Back at the Crick, and the game has definitely gotten away from the Bluebirds through that second period. First period, outside of the minute 15 where they gave up all three of Centennial's goals, but it was still a game at 3-1. Centennial comes in, they score just 40 seconds in, add a shorthanded goal to make it 5-1. Champlin Park Coon Rapids comes back and scores just 6 seconds after that, but then it was really all Centennial the rest of the way.
It really was, and again, they have so much firepower and so many different players that contribute that you can't just really look at one particular girl and try and keep her in check, because if you do, there's others that will score. So again, a 6-goal lead going into the third. Really, now the Bluebirds have their work cut out for them.
Lauren O'Hara and Gaudreau have definitely been getting the job done. That
Absolutely.
First line has been very dangerous. They also do the penalty killing, and they came out, they scored right away. Capitalizing was Callie Cody, and then it was O'Hara getting the shorthanded goal. And as I mentioned, just 6 seconds later, right off, I don't know how you give any assist to that. That was clearly a steal by Brooke Del Castillo. A good move to send Gross out of the way and then score. But then when you get penalties, Centennial makes you pay. It was O'Hara scoring on a power play, and then another penalty, and it's Gaudreau scoring on the power play. Just great stick work, able to work her way out front and bury the wrist shot. And then they add one with Hemmer jumping on a loose puck late in the period, and that one made it 8-2. And kind of an important one because it makes it a 6-goal lead, which means running time in the third period.
Yeah, now you look at the shot clock, 23 for the Cougars and 16 for the Bluebirds. So, we talked about they're right about at their average in terms of goals scored. So obviously they've got some things to do in the third period. They're down by 6. They'd like to keep it away from running time. It'll start at running time here in period number 3, but the Bluebirds want to come out offensively and get a little bit of some things going.
Well, they will have about 51 seconds on their power play to start the third period. They did capitalize on that one power play. They'd love to do that again and then get that clock to stop and see if they can whittle away and at least make it a much more respectable finish, especially after losing 6-0 to Rogers in their last contest last week. They'd hate to see back-to-back running time losses.
Yeah, already, 14 goals in the last 2 games, and we still have a period left here for Centennial to try and increase their lead. So, yeah, those are some things that I know Coach Gutterman wants to work on and again, get an opportunity now to see what they can do about trying to jump back into this one.
Well, we will take another break and be back with the third period after this. You're watching CTN's live coverage of girls high school hockey. Back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, Centennial a big lead over Champlin Park Coon Rapids, 8-2 as we start. Fighting Bluebirds will have that 51 seconds of power play to start the period, but running time until they find the net again.
Well, and again, they'd like to come out and put a goal in here, see if they can do something while they've got the advantage and get it away from that running time.
Johnson able to win the draw. Scott's pass taken away by Gaudreau, sends it in deep. Scott will regather behind the net. Left it for Ness, and a turnover, and O'Hara chance right at the side of the net.
Yeah, Bluebirds were fortunate.
Ness trying to force it through center, ridden off of it by Voloshin. Played to the line, kept in by Terabeza. Terabeza right side. Centers, goes right through the slot, not to the point. Scott was coming back for it, but it's poked all the way to the other end. Wastrel will cover it up as Gaudreau was behind all the defenders.
Well, the Cougars going to get a change here. Actually, the Bluebirds will as well.
Boys basketball game into the final minute. Park Center up 78-56. So the Cardinals will fall to 3-1. But nothing to be ashamed of when you
number 1 or number 2 team in the
when
state,
you lose to a
depending
team
who you
like
look
that.
at.
And you know, the fact that they came out at the beginning of that second quarter or second half and really cut that lead down a bit it says something, and they've stayed competitive with them. Played out to center. Davidson swings it back for Grace Torma off the boards all the way down. That'll be icing and a face-off back in the Centennial end.
Again, all you want to do is get a chance to get pressure down in their end.
Couple of back-to-back turnovers by Coon Rapids have led to a few more Centennial points. Centering pass, and McKenzie just couldn't control it. Hemmer going back the other way for Centennial. Down the right boards. Drops it back. New Power was tied up. Emma Strauss leading it 2-on-1 as Bolander with her. She'll wind and fire, and a good block by New Power coming over and kicking it away.
Yeah, Strauss with a little bit of mustard on that shot. As you mentioned, good defensive play by the Cougars. So that's not going on net.
One out to the blue line, across for Kylie Scott. She steps in inside the top of the circle. A turning shot, a loose rebound. Poked at, comes back out to Scott. A wrist shot that hit traffic. Ends up in the corner. New Power feeling the sting on that, but able to collect it off the boards. Skate out to center. Pop it around Scott and regather, looking to center. That's deflected out front. And then regathered by Evelyn Semling, who plays it to the line, but kept in there by Katie Ball, who sends it back into the corner. Ella O'Hearn was pinched to the boards by Briley Del Castillo. Scott gets it ahead for Semling, to the line, but not out. Voloshin fires to the far corner. Scott able to force it out to center. Turns away from O'Hearn, but O'Hearn able to force the puck away. Briley Del Castillo walking in, tried to get around Voloshin, tied up with her and took it all the way to the net. Recovered by Tara Beza out to Johnson. She couldn't control the pass. Cougars able to get it out to center ice. Turned right back in. Thompson could not clear. Tara Beza plays it off the boards. Had her pocket picked by Gaudreau. Backhand toward the net. Ness sends it wide. 81-61 the final score of the boys basketball game.
Well, as you talked about, that's respectable against that team, and sure they would love to have had a little bit closer.
Abby Ness sending it in deep. Thompson behind her own net. Taken away by McKenzie. Stopped up along the boards by Gaudreau. She sends it in deep. First one there is Ness. She's ridden off of it by O'Hara. O'Hara will skate to center. Into the Coon Rapids zone down the right wing, but Gaudreau in a step early.
There's a minute 43 left in the girls' game, and Park Center now with a 45-40 lead and the basketball.
And as you had mentioned, Jeremy Smith over there with the CTN webcast going. 2 games for the price of 1.
Gotta love it.
Great coverage. And that one held up just outside the line, forcing the Bluebirds in offside. O'Hara digs it free, centering, broken up by Milton. Cody there to pressure. Dug free by Davidson, centers right through the top of the crease. Sikora keeps it in at the blue line. Davidson recovers. Davidson had it poked away. Torma holds it at the line, out of the reach of Gaudreau. Covered in the far corner. Fed along. Emma Strauss able to gain control, gets it ahead to Bolander. Bolander has a shot that's blocked by Torma to the corner. Torma will get it back off the end boards and then send it right back to Sikora in the far corner. Her pass broken up. But Sikora able to step up and win the puck right back. And now here's Jampri. Jampri into the zone. Nothing on that shot. Easy save for Wastrel. She'll cover up
Yeah,
for a face-off.
Again, just pushing something in that net, forcing Maddie to make sure she covered up on that puck, and time continues to tick away with the Bluebirds trailing by 6.
Tie up off the draw. Kylie Scott able to get away with it. She'll skate cross ice. Knocked off her stick, turned around by Centennial. Briley Del Castillo stepping up. Nearly slipped it through the legs of Katie Booth, but Booth able to break it up and get it back out to center. Scott stepping away from Davidson. She gets into the zone down the left wing. Booth pokes it free, gets some help from Davidson, who swings it around. Qualley, first one there. Poked back behind by New Power. Reversed there by Evelyn Semling. Ava Parent tied up with New Power in the corner. Poked free by Davidson. Paige Davidson able to play it out to center. And Emily Nicholas will track it down in front of Wastrel. Jampri right on her heels. Played back out to center. New Power will get to it. Pressured by Parent. Able to stop up in the far corner. Chips it ahead out to center. Turned around by Julian. Semling. Her pass broken up. New Power into the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Short angle shot from Ella O'Hearn goes wide. Tried to get it back to her, but CPCR able to break it up, get it back out to center. Here's Voloshin. Leaving it off for Hemmer. Hemmer trying to get it back to Voloshin. Voloshin backhands it back up the boards for Hemmer. Hemmer tied up there. Chatlian gets it back to Hemmer, back to Chatlian. She had it knocked away by Julian. Coolenkamp at the top of the circles, drops it back. Shot by Thompson, misses into the corner. Voloshin keeps it in. Loose puck again, comes to Voloshin, across to Thompson. Thompson walks in, her shot deflected into the corner. Voloshin again. Can't get it past Ness. Abby Ness sends it the distance, and that is icing. Face-off back in the CPCR end.
And again, you're seeing pressure by the Cougars in the Bluebird end, and forcing the Bluebirds just to push it down ice to get rid of some of that pressure.
Johnson able to win the draw to the corner, but poked away by Larson. Ball tied up by Johnson. Comes free out to the point, held there by Torma. Ness jamming at it. O'Hearn able to keep it in. Ness passing the skates of Tara Beza, able to send it down towards Gross, who just sticks it to the corner. Sikora swings it around. Ness had it hop over her stick. Continues to battle. O'Hearn can't get past Milton. Tara Beza tried to get it out front, turned around by Centennial. And Ella O'Hearn will circle just outside her own blue line, lost the handle. Will play it back for Torma. Her pass broken up by Brooklyn Johnson. And Ness sends it back in deep. Torma tied up by Tara Beza. And coming away was Ball, getting it to Gaudreau. She backhands it into the zone. Lily McKenzie skates in front of her own end. Turns up ice, gets between a couple of players. Trailed by Gaudreau, had it tipped away. And then sent in on net by Strauss. Gaudreau staying out of the reach of Bolander down the left boards. That pass deflected by Strauss will come in on Wastrel. And she will cover up for the face-off as we get down to 5 minutes remaining in this contest.
Again, a couple of pressure inside by the Cougars, and Wastrel smartly decides just to cover up on that puck.
Kept in at the line. O'Hara walking in, his shot deflected in on Wastrel, and she holds for another face-off.
The Cougars out shooting the Bluebirds 27-20 here in the third period.
Well, actually, it's 4-4 in the third period, but.
Well, no, I understand. I'm just total. I was talking about total.
But that's not what you said.
I know. Total for the game. Sorry.
That would be a pretty impressive shot total
27-20 in the third period. Yeah, that would be a lot of action.
Period. Especially running time third period. Emma Strauss trying to get in. It's taken away by New Power and played back out to center. Bluebirds had to wait for Strauss to clear the zone. Katie Booth turning away from the pressure. Gets it to Callie Cody. It slipped under her stick. Kept in. And here's a chance for Strauss. Didn't get a lot of on that wrist shot. Behind the net is Booth again. Pressured by Bolander, but able to get it out to center. Scott plays it across. Briley Del Castillo walks in. Couldn't slip it past O'Hara, but recovers in the corner. Tried to get it back to Brooke Del Castillo. Brianna Qualley jamming along the boards, able to keep it in. New Power sends it behind. Booth in the far corner. Pressured by Kettling, who pokes it free. New Power able to regain control, or Booth rather. And then now played out to center and back to the CPCRN. Emily Nicholas recovers, keeps it away from Davidson out to center. Kettling gets it back to Nicholas. Nicholas sends it in deep. Thompson tied up by Brooke Del Castillo, played to the line, but nobody there. As Julian was just getting onto the ice, Japri trying to force it through some traffic, gets it back, sends it across. Now here's Davidson entering the zone. Davidson forced into the corner, trying to get away from Emily Nicholas. We'll play it out to Thompson at the point. Across for Vlashin. Vlashin back down into the corner. Japri trying to recover, uses the official as a screen. Fired off the boards and all the way down by Julian. And that'll be icing, although I think they could have.
I think they could have waved that off.
They certainly could have waved that off because Thompson made absolutely zero effort to get back to it, but poke to center, Semling into the zone, stops up, knocked off her stick. Vlashin able to force it out to center and then send it to the other end. Icing waved off as Milton gets there before it crosses the line. Sent back around behind by number 29, who is not on our roster. Played up the boards, Vlashin keeps it in. Big collision along the end boards. Skating ahead with it is Emma Olsen. Emma Olsen stops up, tried to play it back. That was broken up by Hemmer. Gets it out to center, all the way back to Wastrel. Wastrel left it off, and Milton fanned on the clear attempt as we're under the final minute. Chatleen plays it off the side of the net. Swung around, chopped out to center by Terabeza. Hemmer just inside her own blue line. Spins away from the pressure and almost turned it over, but Terabeza couldn't control. Hemmer recovers, pitchforked on the backhand, but not very far. Chatleen trying to force it out, can't get it past Abby Ness. Recovered by Briley Del Castillo. Her shot blocked by Torma. Terabeza out front. Ness's shot, and that's blocked again by Torma. Clearing attempt doesn't make it. Chatleen will play it across for Hemmer. Down to the final 15 as she's pickpocketed by Kylie Scott. Scott skates to the other end and sends it in deep, and that will just about do it for this one. And CPCR had the first goal of the game.
They did.
Outside of that, really an impressive performance by the number 4th ranked Cougars.
Yeah, it shows you why they're undefeated. Now they move to 8-0-1. They're just they take advantage of opportunities, and again they score in bunches that they did here this evening, and really the Bluebirds, like as you mentioned, just didn't have an answer for them here tonight.
And the hardest part, I think, is for CPCR is how lopsided the loss was,
Yep.
and the fact that it comes on the heels of a 6-0 loss at the hands of Rogers. But as this team has talked about since the very beginning, state tournament isn't until February. So, they're going to do their work through November and December, January, and be ready to get their wins at the end when they really count.
Yeah, and that's and again they'll take these lessons that they learn here in these kind of games and hope to avoid them as they move forward. But you're right, they're planning for the end of the season, not for the beginning.
And it got away from them, especially in that second period. A 5-goal outburst for Centennial in that middle frame,
Yep.
and then a running time third period. For back to the drawing board for Coach Gutterman and the Bluebirds, but a lot more season to be played.
Yeah, plenty of season left, so they'll continue forward.
And a big game coming up on Saturday for the girls squad as they welcome former coach and the Maple Grove Crimson, who I believe are also ranked in that top 10. And also a very good squad. So another big challenge for them, but one they've circled on their calendar since the very beginning.
Correct.
Here's what we have for you. We have boys hockey games. The next 2 contests we'll be covering right back here from the Crick. The back end of a home-and-home series with the Spring Lake Park Panthers. And then on Tuesday next week, we'll be here as they welcome the Roseville Raiders in a little non-conference action. And then we'll also have girls basketball on Tuesday the 28th, web stream against Maranatha. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports. Again, the final score, Centennial 8, Champlin Park, Coon Rapids 2. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.